What's up, music teachers? If you are tired of teaching 40 students a week, then this is going to be a great training for you. I'm really excited for this because I'm bringing on one of my very first clients, Andrew Miller. So, if you don't know who he is, in 2020, I worked with him to grow his studio to like around 30, 40 students during really the uncertainty of the pandemic. And as we've been catching it for like years now, it's been a really big pleasure seeing his transformation, not just with his music school, but as a music teacher and a person as well. So, in this interview, we'll teach you about how Andrew enforces his standards and boundaries in his marketing so that he fills up his schedule with committed students. We'll also talk about how he increased the value of his music school as well by adding in his own student recital, and also how he plans to scale his studio to the next level so that he can live a secure life as a music teacher, but without needing to be burned out all of the time. And of course, much more. I'm excited for this. Me and Andrew have known each other for years, so it's a really big pleasure to be able to talk to him again, and I'm excited to share this conversation with you.
Weren't you also like releasing some music as well too? I
Yeah,
listened to some of the tracks on Spotify, man. They are fire, man. How's that
thank
been going?
you.
Like your
It's been
live
going good.
performances and that.
I'm still making a new song every single week, and I've been taking lessons as well. And my coach for music production is one of my past clients, so it's really awesome
Oh,
being able to work with him.
oh, nice, man. That
Yeah,
is so cool.
and then I'm also like DJing as well, and starting to. My next year's goal is to create more events for myself and just be able to perform more.
That sounds very similar to an event that my friends and I are planning on doing as well too. Like what's that? My one friend, he actually goes, he's in the same congregation as me. He wants to put on like a blues tribute show at one of the big theaters here. So
Nice.
that's an event that we're planning. So I'm going to be pretty busy 2024. I'm going to have a tribute concert that I'm going to be working on, a student concert, and a kindergarten concert.
I know you got your hands full.
Yeah, no. And it sounds like you have your hands full as well too, man. I mean, like how's like promoting your songs been going? I noticed you have like a few listeners already on Spotify. Like, what are you doing to like promote and market that?
Right now, I'm not even like this is a big lesson for me this year. And it's just that like when I don't have any expectations of my music and how it's supposed to how it's supposed to do, and I focus on just creating the art and making sure that I feel good about it and I like it. People are attracted to that. So
Hmm.
I've been um I've still been just releasing a new song every single week, but what's helped it get so much traction, especially on like SoundCloud as well, is my streaming as well. I'm still streaming, and that's been consistent. I've been getting more people onto my YouTube and get like really nice comments about it as well. It's so wholesome. Like people are like, "Dude, your music's so good," and then they'll like go to my SoundCloud and be able to comment on that too. But it's I've been slowly seeing not just more followers coming to SoundCloud and Twitch and YouTube, but um, people like recurring as well. People
Hmm.
um, coming back to my streams and coming back to YouTube and stuff like that as well. So
No,
it's
man. I
been
mean, so you mean to tell me that my coach is possibly going to end up being the next Tiesto, David
yeah.
Guetta, Marshmello, because
Yes, sir.
in
Yes,
the
sir.
future.
That's the goal. That's the goal. No, that's been my dream since like high school. Like I remember I like fell in love with watching like DJ sets and stuff like that. Um and that's been something I've been wanting to do since high school. But like back in high school, I had a really bad computer, so I could barely finish a project without it like lagging like crazy. And then I also didn't have like the music theory and the musician experience that I have now. So like this year, well, there's been a few people that have asked me like, oh, like, how'd you get so good? But they haven't seen like, the years of music school and then like high school and then my whole life playing piano. I feel like always being a musician and then now applying the music production stuff, it's helped me grow a lot, like a lot quicker than most people do when
Yeah, it
they're like
does.
first starting music production.
I know for sure, man, for sure. I mean, it's the same with and of course, the more you do it, the better you get. I mean, that sounds very similar to like what I'm currently going through with the guitar. I
Nice.
mean, I've always loved the guitar, but like I've just never found the time to actually like practice and
Uh-huh.
actually work on it.
Yeah.
But I've just recently discovered, man, and this really blew my mind. But my playing level, with the technique that I have, I was actually going through some exam books from Trinity College,
Mm.
London Trinity College. My playing level is now roughly about the same level as the rock and pop level six.
Nice. Nice. What like
So I'm like almost 2 grades away from being the advanced with my playing, and it absolutely blew my mind. I thought to myself, I could actually get a lot further with my technique if I just played more. And since I got this new amp,
uh-huh.
and also I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, I went to bought myself a new guitar as well too, like
Oh, really?
secondhand off the Facebook
Nice.
Marketplace. I'll tell you the story about that one as well. But ever since I've done those investments, man, like I'm having so much fun, and I'm actually playing stuff that I want to play now on the
Uh-huh.
guitar. I'm not
Yeah.
like you mentioned earlier in the conversation. I'm not going in with any expectations now. Like I love listening to music where it's like this insane shredding, but I know I'm probably never going to be that type of guitarist. So I've been listening to things like Pink Floyd, Chris Stapleton,
Nice.
Carlos Santana, all those melodic guitar players. And I've just been having so much fun diving into that. So yeah, I mean it's true, man. Like if you spend more time like applying yourself and you take that knowledge of music theory and you just put it to work, it comes together so easily.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, you should all that's my whole message right there. It's like you should be always be prioritizing your own musicianship if you want to
Mm,
be able to grow your studio as well. Can I share with
and
you like a lesson that I've been teaching my clients?
yeah,
Um, okay, cool. So because I know you've been feeling like a little tired, a little burnt out from busy schedule, which is awesome. Um, there's a saying, there's a quote that goes like, "You do not get burned out by the hours that you work, but by the core emotion and energy fueling the work." So
mm,
that's why making sure you have a schedule of students you really love, um, that's really important because you could be working like 1 hour a week, but if it's that one student that really drains you and you're only working that one, you're teaching that 1 hour, you're gonna feel pretty burnt out. But also the other way too, if you have like 40 students, but you love every single one of those students, you're gonna feel excited to work. You're gonna feel energized, and I think that's super important because what I've learned over the past week as well is that your level of energy, belief, and leadership is what takes you to the next level, not the skills. Skills, marketing skills, and sales skills, I feel like is a very beginner skill to learn. That's like in music, like when we're learning technique and theory, that's those all, of course, we can always get better at those, but I feel like those
mm,
are foundational beginner things to learn. And at the at the next level, it's not about just getting better at technique or getting better at theory, but it's getting better at expression and really
mm.
like how do you convey your feeling through the music and share that message, like that's where that at that professional level you got to be able to do that very clearly. And same thing with entrepreneurship as well. It's like it's your it's your leadership, it's your belief, but also can you make sure you manage your stress and have the right energy when you are putting in the marketing and the sales work so that you're able and you're willing to do the work with the right energy. Because if you're tired all the time, you're not going to want to be putting in the work. It's going to be really hard to do that.
Exactly. Exactly. And I will say one thing, Ben, ever since I've like been applying myself a lot more to the guitar and like doing stuff that I like on the side, my enthusiasm for teaching is a lot more noticeable now to my students, and it's a lot more evident now when I'm teaching.
Nice.
Like the one lesson that I had with my one student, we just spent the whole time, like I just showed, was teaching him how to play a song, teaching him how to play Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. And we just had a lovely conversation in between. It was about the song we were learning, but we were laughing, we were talking, we were having a lot of fun. And, it was just like one of the best lessons that I had that week. It was just this energy of enthusiasm about the music. And I just couldn't help but actually think, like when I'm practicing by myself, I just couldn't help but think of that post that I saw that you posted a while ago saying, if you
Yeah,
make
which one?
time for your play,
Yeah.
um, you are going to get better as a musician and as a teacher. And it's like moments like that where I'm ever always reminded of that person. I think to myself, wow, it is so true. Like I could have been having this a lot sooner if I just made the time to actually play more.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I know you wanted to talk more about your student concert and upping your rates too and your experience with that. Um, Tell
Yeah.
me about it. Like what's been happening so far?
Yeah, so as you probably may remember, Ben, I had to put my rates up pretty hectically. One of the reasons, there were a number of reasons there was actually a number of things that were pointing to me increasing my rates. And one of the things that I noticed was first and foremost, one of my competitors was saying to me, Andrew, your half hour rate is way below what most music teachers are charging. He said the average is starting anywhere from 120 to 120 Rand, South African Rand,
Mhm.
to 200 South African Rand.
Mm.
That's the average here in KwaZulu Natal. Um, and she was saying, oh, maybe you should just bump it up to 120. I don't think you'll be able to go all the way to 150. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Ben has had some clients where they had to really put their prices up as well, too. Um, and it's worked for them somehow, just using the system you use. So let me go for it. So, Ben, I must tell you what, I really took a huge leap knowing that there was no safety net underneath, basically.
Mhm.
So I immediately started thinking, okay, like before I took that leap, I thought to myself, what can I start doing to improve not only the quality that I'm giving my students, but also what can I do as well to like really help them level up as musicians. And I thought to myself, you know what, I've been teaching for over 12 years now. Where the hell is a student concert? Why
Mm.
have I never thought of giving them that? That is something that could really add a lot of value to my students' lives. And then the other thing that I did was I wrote down a list. It was a long list. I thought probably filled about 2 pages on my phone of why I had to increase my rates.
Oh,
All
nice.
very compelling, sound reasons.
What were some of those
And
reasons?
so some of them was I had to tell myself that by charging a much lower rate, I was insulting not only myself, but I was also insulting my students because basically with me charging a low rate, Ben, like what's holding me to a standard basically? Like
Hmm.
I could just be giving them, tidbits basically. And that's what I felt like my teaching was like. I felt like I wasn't giving them my very best, putting myself out there. And then I thought to myself, I'm also insulting the industry that I'm in as well, too, because if you're going to get these people that are going to see I'm charging less, and then they're going to start putting the music teaching industry down because they think, oh, the music is just a thing, it's just not really all that serious. It's not really worth the investment, like just put a little bit of money here and there, it's not going to really matter, you know. But if it don't take it seriously, well then who cares, that type of a thing. And then I also thought to myself, if I don't put my prices up, what's going to compel my students to work harder? These were all very, very sound reasons. And I said to myself, well, that is it. I'm putting it up to 150. Here goes nothing. And that's exactly what I did.
Nice.
And needless to say, I love, you also put out a post, I think about a month just before I put out the announcement, that's saying your offer should terrify you. If it doesn't terrify you, it's not good enough. And I thought to myself, oh boy, have I put up an offer that is terrifying me? And I started thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I've promised all of this to my students. I put this rate up. Am I even going to deliver?
Hmm.
Am I even going to deliver? What if I don't deliver? Like, I've put everything, this entire price increase now, on me giving my students more. What if I'm not able to give them more? Like all these worries and panic. I even think I had a little meltdown in Facebook Messenger talking to you about it. Um, but yeah, it turned out well. Look, I had, and it was a blessing. Actually, looking back, it was actually a blessing that I put my rate up the way that I did,
Hmm.
because I got a parent responding back to me, and she was extremely hostile in her messages toward me. And I thought to myself, okay, I actually felt very bad. Like I was saying, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this is how you felt. She was saying, oh no, my son's bored. He's not making any progress. What, all this. And then I went back once my head was cleared and I wasn't taking things so personally. I thought to myself, you know what? The way she responded is a knee-jerk reaction. My
Mm.
price, obviously, I'm heading in the right direction, because it forced her to face where her son was going with his music. She either had to decide, look, either get my son to pull his socks up and be more regular at his lessons, or I cut the lessons.
Hmm.
It was a make or break point. I thought to myself, the fact that my price drove her to make a decision whether she's going to stay on or not is a clear sign that it's the right thing to do. Because
100%.
just by the way this lady was talking to me in her message, it was clear that there was never any respect for what I was doing, or even a respect between her and me, to be quite honest.
Hmm.
Because looking back, it was always very difficult trying to get a hold of her, to try and like organize lessons, to make up. They would miss lessons frequently, and she would never bother telling me. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's one person. Can I tell you what, Ben? I had about over 45 students. Do you want to know how many students I lost when I put my prices up?
How many?
3.
Nice. How many were you even
3.
like expecting? Were you expecting like a mass exodus or something?
I was, I must say, Ben, I was honestly expecting a mass exodus, and I remember Sancho was biting my head off one way about me putting up my price so drastically, and she was like, "What were you thinking? Are you even thinking straight right now?" Typical wife reaction. And yeah, long story short, it worked out for the better. I noticed big changes happened in my school as soon as the price went up. I noticed that the caliber of student that I received was even better than the ones I'd received in the past. I
Nice.
noticed my existing student base actually started doing better as well too. They started putting themselves out a lot more and
Mhm.
working harder. And then I also noticed that my standard and the standard that I was holding myself to went right up.
Dude.
And I remember as well too, like Sancha as well, despite her being like, look, are you nuts, that type of a thing, she was very supportive, actually, looking back on the whole thing. Because she went and said to me, Andrew, you know what? If you're going to be charging this higher rate, I think we need to get you a new wardrobe, because you dressing in these Rick and Morty t-shirts for your lesson has got to stop now.
Hey, nothing
And that
wrong with
was it. And
that.
she helped me redesign my whole wardrobe, helped me look more professional. And I just realized, you know what? Maybe putting up my rates was a good thing, because now I'm holding myself to a standard. I'm being a lot more professional, and I'm sending out a stronger message to my clients. I'm attracting a better quality of clients now, because I'm putting out something of higher quality in the way
Yes.
I present myself, as well as the way that I teach as well too. So, you know what? If you're that teacher that's sitting on the fence right now, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? You need to do it.
Yeah.
100%. You need to put your rates up, because it's going to improve you as a teacher. It's going to improve you as a musician. It's going to improve your students as well too, and also the type of students that reach out to you as well.
Dude,
If you keep charging a low rate, you're just going to keep on getting the scraps. Sorry, that's a very blunt way of putting it, but you're not going to get the best quality students coming through. You're really not.
dude, appreciate you for sharing all of that. Like, I'm first off just been knowing since knowing you for, has it been like since 2019 or something like that?
2020, almost 4
20
years we've known each other.
2020. Yeah. You're the growth that I've seen from you. I'm extremely proud of the transformation you've had, just like feeling from feeling hesitant on like how our online lessons gonna work. Is my music school gonna survive, to now feeling super confident about raising your rates, knowing how to do that again in the future. Um,
Mm.
I'm very proud of the transformation you've had, but also I'm not surprised as well. Just based on the type of teacher that you are and the type of leader that you are, being able to come to these, one, be aware of these decisions coming up, and then being able to act on it in the face of fear. That's It's very courageous, and that's how we build that leadership. And yeah, that's just like pure evidence right there of your leadership moment, because that is the make and break for a lot of teachers right there, when they either settle back down into something that they're comfortable with. um but understanding that it's like, I also love that you understand it's like it's bigger than you as well.
Mm.
Like, I feel like your price is, it's not just a price, but it's a reflection of your boundaries and your standards for yourself and for the industry as well. And that's like, that's always been my mission for why I even started teaching music in the first place as well. It's to share that opportunity of music education with the world, but also being able to change this industry where like the arts need to be valued. And the first place comes with us, and you doing your part with having high standards for yourself. Because for me, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't foresee a world, and there doesn't need to be a world where everyone is a musician or anything. That'd be like the perfect world. But it's, everyone has their own choice. And I love how you put it, like you made that parent make a choice for their student or for their kid, because either he's going to have to be more serious about it and take and value it more, or it's just not his thing, and that's okay.
Mm.
And I don't want anyone doing something that they don't want to do. I think that's like, so, that's the whole reason for life. So, dude, yeah, I have some more thoughts on that, but I just wanted to say appreciate you for sharing that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks, man. But I mean, it was a big move, and I will say now this year with me putting up my rate again, I was a lot more confident about it. And needless to say, because my student concert went so well, it was favorably received, my price increase this year. So
Yeah. Wait,
it's
how was
really
that?
nice.
How was like the student concert? How'd you run it and stuff?
So it was, I must say, I actually had a lot of help with Sencha. So what I did is the first thing that I did, Ben, is I formulated. I'm the type of guy when I'm wanting to put something on, I like to work out a plan in my head of the things that I want to do. So I said to myself, okay, in my first quarter, so my first semester of teaching, I want to have a clear map, a clear list of students who are going to be playing. So I started approaching the students that I knew would be, good for the concert, and I started motivating them to consider. And I also started working on helping them choose some pieces as well too for their concert. Then I said, okay, by the end of the second semester, I need to have found a hall and I need to have gotten sound equipment and I need to have booked that hall as well too. By the end of the second semester, a student's parent helped me find a hall that was literally just down the road from where I stayed.
Oh, convenient.
Um, and at a very nice price as well too. Be lovely, cozy little drama room at the school, one of the schools that I stay close by to, and found some affordable sound equipment. Look, it wasn't the fanciest sound equipment, but it was suitable. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
served
it's your
the
first
purpose. It
concert.
sounds good. Exactly. So I just went and spent like some money on some sound equipment, some cables, and all that. And then of course, like the third throughout the entire year leading up to the concert, it was just drilling my students to work on their timing, talking to them about how they need to go up, that type of a thing, like how they need to sit down, like what they must do on each instrument.
Hmm.
um, Approaching my friend and asking him, look, I need like a little act afterwards that we can put on for everybody. Will you help me? Will you and my friends help me put this together? And we got together on that. And then a month before the concert, I said to myself, I'm going to phone the hall and I'm going to make sure that everything is still safe and sound. And it's just as well because there were a couple of speed bumps along the way,
Oh.
because the month before when I phoned through and I asked them, look, now bear in mind, I've paid for the hall. I've already paid for it, everything. Um, Phoned the hall and I say to them, hi, I'm just phoning about my student concert for November. And you can imagine the shock of my life when nobody there knew what the hell I was talking about.
Oh no. Like what
So I
concert?
So I literally started panicking in my shoes. I was like, what do you, I actually said to the lady, what do you mean you do not know? I've already paid for it. What are you talking about? And needless to say, I was able to send her the proof of payment again, which immediately, put me on their radar. And they realized, whoops, we almost made a big blunder here. And then on the booking form, the accounts lady quite quite, I don't want to say foolishly, because foolishly is a bit of a harsh way of putting it, but accidentally, let me put it gently, accidentally put down the wrong month. So she
Oh.
got the date right and the year right, but she got the month wrong. So
Uh-huh.
needless to say, about the end of that month, October, I get a phone call from her asking me why I'm not there for my student concert. And I said to them, please get your act together now, because I said the 25th of November. And that was when I phoned this friend of mine who was helping with the concert. And I just said to him, look, dude, you're very good at organizing stuff, and that, can you please come with me so that we can chat to these people?
Hmm.
Needless to say, chatting with my friend, and of course, like the kindergarten that I work for, the manager there, she's very good at booking concerts for that establishment. So she just said to me, Andrew, this is what you need to do. She also gave me some good advice. By the end of the day, my friend and I went there. I'd gotten confirmation in an email, so there was no going back for them now.
Nice, nice.
And yeah, then it was just that was it. I just started focusing on all the things, just making sure my students are ready, training them for how they could conduct themselves on stage, how to deal with nerves, the usual thing that our teachers would take us through when we started learning. Um, then of just writing out a set list, like when the students are coming in order, when we're performing,
Hmm.
what people needed to bring, just the usual, like just making the list of everything that needed to be done. And then, yeah, on the day of the concert, we packed everything up, got up. I was up early at about 6 o'clock that morning,
Yeah.
and dismantled everything within 2 hours. Everything was there at the hall. 8 o'clock, already began setting everything up with my wife and father's help. My father was absolutely amazing in helping me transport all the stuff there. Then my bandmates arrived, my students started arriving, and I don't know how I did, but it just sailed through
Love
beautifully.
it.
And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm so nervous. I'm actually worried if this is gonna if I'm gonna do something to mess it up. And despite my nerves, it just went well. And my being nervous was actually kind of a good thing because it put my students at ease. Because my one student's mother said, "Chuck, Andrew is so nervous, I can see it." And I think my students seeing their teacher nervous kind of put them at ease because they're like, okay, our
So yeah,
teacher's
it's
nervous.
okay.
He's also got nerves. We don't have to worry about it,
Yeah.
type of a thing. Like we're in good company. And the students played beautifully. Um, they received thunderous claps as they went up and as they went down. And then our little show afterwards was well received by everybody. Everybody was like, no, that was like so nice.
Love it.
Everything just went according to plan. And everybody left with big smiles on their faces. And I just knew like I'd done a good job. I'd made my students happy. I'd made their parents happy. I thought to myself, you know what? I was making much ado about nothing. A big
Mhm.
storm in a teacup, as they say.
Yeah.
And now I'm feeling a lot more confident about doing a concert for 2024. Now I know what to
Nice.
expect. Now I know how to work out a system to get it going. I know 2024's concert is going to even be better than this. And Sancho's already helping me with some ideas. Like Sancho's like, Andrew, you need to have a prize giving afterwards where you give your students like a little gift bag for their
Oh,
performances.
that'd be so memorable
Yeah,
because I still have like my little trophies from piano and stuff like that. And it's just like it's good to like look back and be like, wow, like this is something I really committed myself to
yeah,
and made it
no,
happen. I
no,
like the way
definitely.
that
So
oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
and Sancho was even saying, you know what, you like maybe put like a little bag of like sweets and stuff like that and for all the students as well. Um, and I thought to myself, yeah, you know what, I think it's time to start leveling up. So this concert, I'm going to be doing that. But what we're going to add something along those lines as well, too, Ben?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I love the way that you just approach these uncertain situations, which is again how we level up in leadership, especially when I see with my clients. Right now, the ones that are most successful are the ones that approach the situations like I don't know what's going to look like at the other side. I don't know how I'm going to make it work, but I will make it work. And and you've shown that every single part of along the way, like online lessons, like moving online, being able to raise your rates, but then also um, doing this concert as well. I'm kind of curious, like what's next for you?
Yeah, so what's next for me? I'm going to start trying to work on playing more and performing more. Like really setting the example for my students. I can't just tell you guys to play in a concert and I just sit around and do nothing. I've got to take a more active lead in performing. So whether it's
Mm.
performing more at my student concerts or putting on concerts on the side,
Hmm.
that's what I've got to do. I've got to start taking the lead now.
Nice, nice. Like, you have any concrete plans? Anything you're really looking forward to with performing?
Well, my friend is talking about that blues thing. We're going to be having possibly a Zoom meeting tomorrow night as a band,
Nice.
and we're going to be chatting about the set list. My friend's already put a set list together of, like some songs, and it's like some pretty good artists, super challenging artists, but like very good. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan, for example, one of the greatest blues guitarists alive. And then one of our local guitarists, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, man, but he's an absolute legend. If he ever comes to America to perform, you need to check him out. He's a South African blues guitarist. He's hailed as one of the best guitarists in the world, Dan Patlansky.
Nice,
You need
nice.
to check his
I
stuff
gotta
out,
check them
man.
out
He
then.
is fire. He is like amazing. I saw him perform live, and he was the other reason why I got so excited about the guitar again. Because I was just like teaching the guitar, carrying on it, become like a routine. But I just see this guy perform, and all of a sudden I felt like that little kid feeling you get inside you when you
Yeah.
start doing well with your music, and you have these dreams of being this pop star, this rock star over here. I immediately felt like a little kid again inside. I was like, yeah, I want that. I want
Yeah.
to be able to play guitar with as much passion as what this guy does. And I can play guitar. Why can't I
Nothing
be more
stopping
like
you.
that? Why don't I just start playing more?
Exactly, exactly. And again, that like fuels the energy that you do with teaching as well.
You need to check out my Instagram sometime, Ben. I actually posted a video of that guy performing
Hmm.
at one of our theaters here in Durban. It's Suncoast, the Barnyard. Like the
Nice.
Barnyard is like one of the places here in KwaZulu Natal, here in Durban, that's like puts out a very high standard of performances. Like we've had some international artists and international companies come and perform there
Dang.
at this venue. And like I tell you what, man, like some of the acts that I've seen at the Barnyard, it's like amazing.
Oh,
So
I love that.
all I can say is you've got to be really, really good as a musician to perform at that theater. That's all I can say. If you have dreams of performing there, you've got to really be good at what you do.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Want to ask one more question because I know you shared a lot of lessons in this video so far. Um, like what would you give advice to for Andrew when we first met? You know, Andrew in 2020. Like, what advice would you give him?
Yeah, sure. That's actually such a good question. I think what I would tell him, you know, is don't be scared to take the leap. Don't be scared to make a tough decision. Don't be scared to go into the unknown because the outcome of the unknown doesn't always have to be failure.
Yeah.
It'll turn out the way you envision it if you work at it. I've only been able to get stronger as a teacher, as a musician, and as a person because I've said to myself, this is the situation I'm currently in, or this is the situation I've put myself into. How am I going to make it work now? I've increased my rates. I've received a little bit of pushback. How am I going to make the best out of this? And
Yep.
because of that, I drove myself to put out the best student concert that I could put out.
Sure.
Um, Lockdown. If my school closes, I'm without a job. And I doubt I'm going to be able to find a job easily in this situation. What am I going to do to not only keep the students I've got, but get more? And that, of course, led me to meeting you and joining your program.
Yeah.
And I was scared because I was thinking, if I join this program, am I going to be able to actually, get back what I put into the program? And I thought to myself, you know what? I've made this investment. Let me just work at it. And that's what I did. I just worked and worked and worked, and I just made it happen. So, what I would say to the younger Andrew, don't be scared to go into the unknown, mate. Jump in. Don't worry about the safety net. You can make the safety net on the way down.
Love it. I'm proud. I'm proud. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Angie, everything, all the updates that's been happening. For anyone that's watching, like where can they find where can they connect with you? Where can they find more about what you do?
Well, one of the things you guys can do, I've been very dormant lately on Facebook and Instagram, but if you want to check out some of my content, you can follow me on Facebook as Andrew Miller. Um, and then, of course, on the Instagram, you can follow me as Andrew Miller Music Teacher. Those are
Nice.
my two accounts. I actually need to, one of my goals that I'm going to be working on while I'm on leave is becoming a little bit more active and working out an actual schedule where I post more content on both Facebook and Instagram. And I want to see if I can also get to a level where I can just recycle eventually all my good content,
Yeah.
basically, because you know what? The whole reason why I've been burning myself out in social media right now is because I haven't had a schedule. I haven't worked out like a thing for every week, every month, what I need to be putting out. And if I can just do that, well, then I can pretty much see myself having ongoing social media presence, pretty much like what you have. So
Yeah,
that's my
nice.
next goal for 2024 is to try and be a little bit more active on social media, even when I am busy.
Nice, nice. Yeah, we'll you can send me any of those links. I'll put them in the like description of the video as well so people can follow you. But I mean your content's
Cool, man.
always been like good, so I'm excited for you to get back into it.
Thanks, man. Like, and
Yeah,
it's been great catching up with you, man. Like, I hope you keep going strength to strength with your music career.
thank you,
And
thank you.
like, what plans do you have for your clients in that right now? Like, what are what's some new content that we can look forward to seeing from Ben in the future?
Oh, it's good. It's good. My content has like I'm always becoming like a better copywriter. So just in terms of like my marketing content, it's going to revolve a lot around beliefs and leadership. Um,
Mm,
because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create content out of an energy of courage. And what that's going to
mm,
do is going to attract other teachers who are courageous as well. And I could show you this later on as well. I can probably teach you a little lesson about it. But when we speak, when we speak to our audience out of fear, out of shame, out of anxiety, we will attract other people who are feeling that same way, right? Like there's a quote that goes, "Your vibe attracts your tribe." So if you're speaking out of fear, like and out of desperation, like, "Oh, I need money, I need money, I need money," you're gonna attract people who also need money, need money, need money, and those people are probably not gonna invest at the rate that you really want to, at a rate that really
mm,
aligns with your standards and your boundaries. So
mm,
by being able to not not only create content out of courage, the only way to do that is by living out of courage as well. So that's trying new things, doing things that are like a little bit scary that aren't going to kill you, right? Like raising your rates, being able to show yourself you can put on a student recital and make it work. Like those are very courageous things. And when you are able to live out of courage and you're able to share the right messaging, right? And when you live and have the right energy and combine that with the skills of marketing and knowing the right messaging to put in your content, that is like the formula for creating a six-figure studio. That's the formula for attracting high-paying, committed students that actually align with your values, beliefs, standards, and boundaries. So that's what I've been working on so far in terms of like for clients and stuff like that, putting on more like client events. That's my main goal. I just went to like a in-person retreat for the coaching program that I'm in this week. And it was amazing being able to like get to see everyone in person. Like these coaches that I've known for 3 years so far, like just seeing them online and then getting to like hug them, getting to hang out with them. That was a very, very like surreal experience. So I wanna create more like I don't know if I can create an in-person one just yet, but I want to create more like uh longer events for clients, like intensives, like 2-day intensives and stuff like that, and bring on different
mm.
speakers. So that's the plan for next year. Um, and then yeah, like continuing to just coach. One of the learning lessons that I've had was this past year is the same exact thing that I'm teaching now. And it's that like you need to make sure that you have a coaching structure and a coaching and a teaching schedule that actually supports the lifestyle that you want to live. So for example, if you want a simple lifestyle, just be able to teach and be able to be flexible and have your own holidays, but you don't want to hire any teachers, you don't have to, right? I think
Mm.
a lot of teachers feel like when they're expanding, they have to go down that traditional route where it's like big music school or I'm just gonna stay small, right? And there's so much more happening in the world now, like so being able to expand with like group lessons, being able to expand with an online curriculum, being able to have higher standards for your one-on-ones. It's like there's other ways to be able to grow other than needing a big physical space and hiring out teachers now.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, cool.
so I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm looking forward to seeing more of your content, man. You just need
Thank
to
you.
keep it up, man. I know 2024 is going to be a great year for you as well, and I know you're going to really impact a lot of amazing music teachers out there as well.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, thank you so much for being here again. If
Thank
anyone's watching um and you're looking to be able to dip for like a different way to grow a six-figure studio, feel free to hit me up. Be happy to chat. But feel free to, reach out to Andrew and ask about his story, ask about his experience because it's been very, very inspiring following it for so many years.
Thanks for having me, Ben, and for everybody watching, thank you for putting up with my rambling, and if you learned something from it.
I love it.